No, my clock is not broken. That was supposed to be witty, but it wasn't witty. It was just weird. I just decided as I was looking outside and I was seeing, hello, Showdizzle. If I knew what that meant, that would be a fantastic name. And Vermont 6771. Welcome to my party. Hi, how's it going? I normally do this at 8 o'clock, but we still have some light outside. So I was like, maybe I'll just do it now. Hopefully my doggy doesn't get excited about the doggies barking outside and say, hey, I'm going to start barking. Anyway, that's the reason I don't have a title or anything like that. But we are going to talk about some fun things. We got BoxyCharm, the base box for this month. And then we have my eyeshadow palettes. I decided to go through and find my eyeshadow palettes that I would recommend for summer, since it's summer, because that's what we do, right? So that's what we're going to do, and then talk and go over some stuff. I've been struggling with my self-control. There's some things that I'm really interested in. So there's the newish company called UOMA. Is that how it's spelled? UOMA. And I don't know if it's OMA, which most people seem to be pronouncing it OMA, or if it's WOMA with a UOMA, or if it's with a W, WOMA. That's the linguist in me wanting to be particular. Do you guys know? Kelly Makeup, do you know? How do you say OMA, WOMA, WOMA? I don't know. I think it's African. Is it African? I think it's African. I know Sharon C. Is that who it is? They say it's a collaboration with her, but apparently she's actually the CEO of the company. So it was WOMA, and then either, I don't know if she took over the company or if she founded the company. But anyway, I just did a little bit of background check. So I'm assuming if it's African that you actually pronounce that U in some way or another, but I don't know. No idea. I don't know. Me, no idea also. Anyway, I'm interested in the mascara that they have, and also the foundation and those lip tints. Do I need them? Absolutely not. We put our deposit down and signed our contract. Did we sign our contract? Yeah, that was all done online for a new place, which we're getting into on the 1st of July. So I do not need to be thinking about acquiring more junk. However, I am thinking about acquiring more junk. And I actually have the new e.l.f. mascara. So yeah, I definitely don't need another mascara, especially since I try not to open, like I've got 3 open right now and I'm like, I need to use them. So that's what I'm trying to do. But my self-control is suffering. How do you guys keep your self-control in check? I don't know. How do you slap yourself on the wrist and say, don't do it? I usually try to keep myself in like a budget. So I say a certain amount per week, but budget smudget, right? Anyway, so I actually just put in an e.l.f. order. So on elf.com, they have their putty bronzer, which I really want to try. I haven't tried the putty blush yet either. And actually, I have the putty primer, and I kind of tried it once, but I haven't actually put it in my rotation. So I need to do that. I try to be pretty good about like keeping something in my rotation so I can get used to using it. But that doesn't always work. So anyway, yeah, so welcome. My name is Priscilla. I feel like I should have some sort of intro. A lot of people have intros. I don't have an intro, so whatever. This is me. Welcome. Welcome to my party. I think it's interesting how people ask to be in my live video. Why do you want to be in my live video before you know what my live video is about? I don't think you'd want to be in my live video, because then I'm going to make you do your makeup in front of everybody, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. Anyway, but yeah, actually I used this thing. I'd had only foundations in my pan basket, And so I decided to add this in there for a tinted moisturizer because I was really craving a tinted moisturizer today. So I use this. Well, I'm not getting the words out right. I use this today, but I think it's a little bit on the light side. I mean, it looks like it matches, but then again, the lighting is really bright here because I've got the ring light. Outside, the lighting is going down. I don't know. So this, I really like the finish of this and everything, but I feel like I need to get the little bit darker one. I know I'm getting old because as I look at this, I go further and further out. I get the old people look gaze. It was funny because people said, when you're 40 years old, then suddenly everything will change. And I'm like, now I'm 39, I'm fine. And then I hit 40 and everything changed. And I was like, that's just so weird. Like, how does that work? I don't know. Your body is just like, yeah, you are now officially old. You're at the middle point of your life. But you know, that's actually kind of a cool thought because back in the day, 45, oh, what skin type is it for? It is for, let me see what it says. So it has hyaluronic acid and squalane, and it's oil-free, and it's sheer to medium. So I think it's, so my skin is oily, but it's gotten a little more dry, and also I've gotten used to hot weather, so I don't sweat as profusely as I used to because when I lived in the Caribbean, I just got used to hot weather. Then when I came back to Minnesota, now I'm cold all the time. And then also I'm in AC. So I don't know. I haven't used it. I mean, it's super hot today, but I don't feel shiny at all. I've had it on since this morning. So what's that? I probably had it on 8 hours or at least. And I mean, late morning. And I mean, it looks pretty good. It's not going to give you a really intense coverage, but I didn't add anything else. I didn't do any concealer or anything. Yeah, it does actually. I've heard people talk about this and say really good things about it, and so I picked it up, and it is good. So it's Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. That's what it is. Sorry, it's backwards. That happens. It is really good. So, but yeah, I want to get a little bit darker because I feel like I look a little washed out, especially when I have a red lip. So. This lip is this one from LA Colors that I got last year at the Family Dollar. And I really like these. They're just fun to put on. And they have some really good nudes that I like. Send nudes. Just kidding. That was an inappropriate comment. I'm supposed to be a godly woman. You can still have fun if you're a godly woman. Okay, so you guys want to talk about palettes first or you want to talk about BoxyCharm first? I'll give you your option. Anybody who's here gets a vote. Who wants to vote? BoxyCharm or palettes? I should have put a poll up. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to talk about them both. And if people aren't here, then they're going to be able to watch the video and see both of them anyhow. So I wanted to get some, kind of get a good mix of palettes. Okay, good. The vote is palettes. That's the one I've gotten in so far. So what I do is I do Instagram on my phone and I do YouTube on my computer. So I might have people coming in on both of those, chiming in, but sometimes I just have silent partners hanging out watching and not really saying much. So I don't have these in any particular order. So I'm just gonna, I guess, crack into them. You know what I'm gonna start with? Yeah, I know, right? I love them both too. I'm gonna actually just go by company. And I'm going to start with e.l.f. since I'm talking about e.l.f. stuff anyhow. Well, actually, no, I was talking about Wet n Wild. I lied. Never mind. But yeah, I do have a little e.l.f. order coming because they give you free shipping with $15, which is really cool. Also, they give you points and things and you can get free stuff. I didn't take any free stuff this time because I want my points to add up so I can get a whole bunch of free stuff later when there's something I want. These two from e.l.f. are going to be my choices, my e.l.f. picks for the summer as far as e.l.f. goes. So this is the New Classics. I know we've been talking about this for a while, but this is just such a good neutral palette. If you like neutrals, this is so good. And it's so good for summer because you've got kind of this hint of green and you've got this like hint of like apricot on here. It's just, it's so pretty. This is like, this is kind of, I think, followed probably the Huda and the Natasha Denona and whatnot when they got like their They're more cool tone, like getting away from, everybody was doing the orange tone nudes there for so long, the really warm tone nudes, that was the thing. And now they've gotten a little bit more cool. And I think this was kind of where the corner turned with e.l.f. And e.l.f. has been really good at keeping up and really being kind of cutting edge, but still being very approachable. This was, I cannot believe this palette is gone. I know people went crazy for it. Sorry, I just did my nails and I don't want to destroy them opening this. So I'm attempting to not put a big gouge in them. So this is the Retro Paradise palette. This is so stinking good. Again, it's the same sort of thing. So it's really similar to this. So if you have this one, you probably don't need this one, maybe. But I think that I feel like these are a little bit more grungy. I kind of hate that word because it's so overused now. And being a child of the grungy era, I'm like, wait a minute, none of the stuff that you're calling grungy is actually grungy. I mean, it kind of is, but what we meant by grungy back in the day just meant it didn't blend well. It was bad quality and we just kind of stuck it all over there and hope for the best. And then it would just kind of smear and get in the crease and stuff and we'd call it grunge. Or we would use things inappropriately, like eyeliners went on the lips, concealer went on the lips, because we'd have to have, you know, the really bold ombre with the brown on the outside and then the cool on the inside. It was crazy back in the day. And then we only had the sponge tip. That was the only thing we had to, so we'd have to like try to get up there and put it all on there, or use our finger, or we'd wet our finger to try to like make it dark. Bad quality. The only thing we had was, well, we did have Wet n Wild, but they didn't really have eyeshadows at the time, I don't think. I think, well, they did, but not as much. I think it was mostly, they had nail polish and all that kind of stuff. But it was CoverGirl. CoverGirl was it. CoverGirl and Revlon. Those were the ones back in that day. Now you don't really hear about those. Anyway, this is a really great palette. These little bursts of brilliancy here are so gorgeous. And I have really found this is an easy palette to work with. It does have, this particular one here especially has a lot of glitter that falls out. So if you don't like that, that might be a problem, but I don't mind it too much. Just do your eyes first and then, or use a glitter glue. I like that too. All right, so those are the e.l.f. ones that I have here. Let's look at, I have a whole bunch from Juvia's Place, but I'll probably save those to the end because then I can organize this a little bit better. Let's look at this one. This is from Odin's Eye. And I haven't used this very much. I think I've used this once. So this is the, what is it? The Norns palette. This is a stunning palette. Really, really stunning. But it's actually, if you cover up this, it's not super bright. So it still is on the neutral-ish side. So even if you like neutrals, you can go really well. You see, I kind of have a neutral look on my eyes right now. I actually used this one. This came in BoxyCharm a couple months ago. Natasha Denona. This is the Ayana palette. I was mad because I didn't get the colorful one, but you know, whatever. It goes with the glasses. So these are my funky, chunky glasses. But yeah, this palette is so gorgeous. I adore it. And I just have to get into it more, but there's just so many possibilities with this. You have this beautiful orange. I'm really into oranges now, which is funny because they're not my color at all, but they're really beautiful. I love this red. And then of course the greens and the purples and blues and stuff are stunning. So definitely recommend this if you have not tried Odin's Eye. I really like their quality. There was one that I tried last week, which is the Alva 2, I think, the one that's more neutral. I really like the quality of it, but the color story I wasn't as crazy about, but it was still pretty. Okay, so then we have, let's talk about this. So this is, I think you can go with any of these palettes from LA Girl, the 16 pan palettes. Almost any of them are going to be really good for summer, depending on what your color story is. But this is the one that came out not long ago, and they do have this at Ulta. And this is the, which one is this called? VIP Desert Dream eyeshadow. So they have this one, and then they have the bright one, which I really like too, but I kind of put that in the spring sort of color scheme. So this is definitely more colorful, more fun, but the quality of these shadows across the board, all of these 16 pan palettes, of which I have most of them. Just found out there's 2 more that I don't have. So there's 4 that I don't have. So that's like keeping me up at night because I want them all. But these are really fantastic. Both the shimmers are phenomenal. I will swatch a couple of them here just so that you can, I'll do a couple different ones. So I've got these 2 here. They kind of take, you kind of have to go back and forth a little bit because they're so pigmented. Sometimes I'll get like, if you don't work them in, they'll, but that's 1 swatch each. I didn't build that up at all. That's just, and I still have a lot left on my fingers. So there's a ton of product there. And then let me get into a couple of the mattes. I gotta get a wipe out to clean my fingers. Let me do these 2 colorful ones. So there's the yellow and the pink. And I'll put the yellow right below and the pink below that. And those have really nice payoff too. So these are fantastic. They are $15, I think, or maybe $15.99, something like that. But then you can use the $3.50 off coupon at Ulta and get a little bit of discount. Really good. And they also have a couple more neutral. Really, 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 really fantastic. And they have more colorful too. So kind of depends on where you want to go, but highly, highly, highly recommended. I have one here from Ace Beauté, and I haven't actually gotten into this very much, but I'm really excited about using this for the summer. I have seen so many beautiful looks. I've kind of just swatched through this and played with it a little bit, but not very seriously. But if you are into really colorful looks, it just is a really solid performer. And I think these purples are actually quite good. Purples are not an easy thing. Let me put these on the inside. They're not an easy thing usually, but look at that. Do you see? Do you see? Let me do this green because I can. Oh, the green is, I think I swatched it with a slightly damp finger. So I will forgive it for that. And then this orange. And this, I'm not getting into the orange. So, and I'm using my pinky, which is not my swatching finger. But there you go. So those are mattes out of the Ace Beauté. Is it Beauté or Beauté? I don't know. Again, the linguist in me is like, how do I pronounce this? I would have been a linguist if I wasn't an opera singer. Now I'm neither. I'm a singer, but you know. Oh, Ontario, Canada. Can't you like drive over the border? Do they let you guys come out of the country yet? I know some people were like stuck in Canada because the Canadian government was like, nah, you can't leave because of COVID. I don't know. What are they doing now in Canada? Are they letting you go? That would be a bummer. But you guys have Boots. I mean, I don't have no idea. I hear about Boots. I hear it's a good place. But do you have like anywhere close to our options at Boots? I don't know. I need to get over there. I need to get into Toronto actually. And yeah. So, but we're not too far from Canada. We're like, well, okay, we're like 6 hours from Thunder Bay, which is, there's nothing in Thunder Bay except some amethyst mines and tourist traps and things like that. Anyway, I had to put this one in here because I really like this. And actually, there's some others from Revolution and they're different brands. But this is the one that really just speaks to me as a summer palette because it's so unique and so fun. This is definitely not everybody's brand. So this is I Heart a Revolution Turkish Delight. Smells like roses, very strongly like roses. But I love this color story because it's so weird. So you have these greens and oranges and pinks, and they're all super bright. They do have pressed glitters, 4 pressed glitters in here. So if you don't like that, that could be a problem. And also I have like this pomegranate is getting hard pan. So that's a little bit of a problem. You just don't have much, but it's actually interesting because I've seen a similar color in other palettes also get hard pan. So it might just be whatever the dyes are that they need to formulate them. But other than that, I really like this as far as a summer palette. And if you do have this in your collection, I would say pull it out for summer because it's super fun to kind of get those pops and things. And it also has quite a bit of neutral. So you can go with these greens and have it really toned down. Even this pink isn't super, super bright. It's a very especially for somebody like me that has a pink undertone, I think it's a very moderate pink that you can use to deepen up like this lighter pink or some of the other colors. So yeah, it's a really cute palette, and I just wanted to include it because I do have quite a few from Revolution, one of their brands, and I have several different ones that are more colorful, but this is really cute. Actually, I would recommend these two also. Let me grab these because these are nice and colorful. I don't know why I didn't grab these. I just was thinking that, and I was trying to keep it down. But this is the Forever Flawless Constellation. Whoops, there we go. So you get a really nice, colorful look there. Lots of pinks and purples. And then this is the Utopia. More blues, a little bit more neutral, I think. And then you just have a few bits of color peeking up over there. So these are really nice for summer too. I think any of these, and I like the packaging too. Those are really fun. So I guess we'll add those to our pile because we can. All right, so I got this from Glam Shop Poland. I placed an order from them a while ago. I have not gotten into this, but I have swatched it and it makes my heart go pitter patter. So I will be using this, and I want to give you guys the experience. We do have a couple of pressed glitters in here, but let me just tell you, this palette, this is their Paprika palette. So that's what it looks like on the front. It's got a little devil on there. So, you know, if you like devils on your cosmetics. These are the mattes. If you like red and orange tones, do you see? Oh my goodness. They're amazing. So Glam Shop Poland takes a little bit to get there. I would say order a few things from them, but all of the stuff that I've gotten from them has been absolutely stunning. So as far as I know, I would say anything's okay. These do stain a little bit, as do orange and purples, not infrequently. So let me let my fingers dry just a second here, and then I'll get a couple of these shimmers. So Na Ostro. So this is, of course, a Polish brand, so you get a lot of stuff that's in different languages. Even though these are pressed glitters, they definitely adhere and stay very easily. So I've got Na Ostro, Tabasco, which is a really beautiful duochrome, gold to orange, and then Piri Piri, which I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it's not anything inappropriate. So if it is, I'm sorry, but look at those shimmers. Hallelujah. They're so gorgeous. So if you like reds and oranges, this is your friend. I am so surprised I have not heard more about this, because I hear a lot of people talking about looking for good red shadows, especially shimmers. And this one, even though it's like a pressed glitter, but it's really fine and it's more like a shimmer to me. I don't know, is it a pressed glitter technically, or is it actually just a shimmer with little bits in it? What's the difference? At that point, I'm not sure what the difference is, because it's it acts like a shimmer, but there's definitely little flecks in there. So there's definitely little particles of glitter in it. So, but those are stunning, and I will be putting those on my eyes. It's so funny how like we can swatch straight this way, and then as soon as we turn our hand, we're like way off here. Things that you have to learn to be on YouTube and Instagram. Then I got this one. I'm not really going to swatch this one because I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's necessarily going to help. But this is such a fun yellow palette. This is all matte, and this is our ColourPop. This is the Sunshine, Little Ray of Sunshine palette. So these are all matte yellow tones, and I think it's so beautiful. This is gorgeous for summer into fall, so I'm looking forward to using that. I've got so many more warm tones than I thought I would have, but don't blame me. I know there's like no rhyme or reason to what I'm giving you. These are just the ones that make me feel like summer. And I don't know how many are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, 16, including the 2 I just pulled off the shelf, so that's not too bad. Violet Voss. I got this guy from BoxyCharm Pop-Up or whatever it was. Was it Pop-Up or their add-ons? Anyway, where you order stuff from Boxy and it was like $6 or $9 or something like that. These are so cute. I will swatch just a couple. I love this green, so I gotta swatch that. This pink is one of the two mattes. Actually, the red is a diamond shade, they call it. And then I'll do this brighter blue. So look at those colors. Do you see? Oh my gosh. Let's see, where can I put these? Let's put them here. Blue, green, pink. Oops, that flaked a little bit. There we go. So these are really bright. I like the fact that they're small pans because I have so many palettes. I don't need huge pans. Even though the greedy person in me likes the huge pans, but this is the Limeade palette from Violet Voss. Beautiful, bright, shiny colors. Most of these are shimmers, but there are a couple of mattes. Yes, I blew in my palette. Don't judge me. Okay, and then I got this from Kaleidos, and this is just, to me, summer in a palette. Oh my goodness, do you see that? So we've got turquoise and we've got this bright bit of orange. Of course, I'm going to swatch. Every time I swatch Kaleidos, it shocks me because they're like, it feels like I'm sliding my finger along glass. They're so slick. Is that a word I should be using? So there's the orange. There's the, I can't see anything I'm doing. There's the shimmer turquoise and then darker matte turquoise. This palette is stunning. I love it so much. I love palettes that kind of challenge you to think. So I love the fact that it's turquoise, a little bit of neutral with this brown and then this light shimmer here. But then we got turquoise and then a pop of orange, which is completely opposite on the color wheel and makes you go, huh, what am I going to do with that? And you can come out with really beautiful looks because they're so different. So this is, my arm feels like summer to me. Does that feel like summer to you? I feel like that's very summer. Okay. I grabbed this guy, or I didn't grab this. I got this guy in my last Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. And that's this guy. This is the Viseart Petit Pot Du. So it's the second one apparently. I don't know. And I feel like this is so summer for somebody who's much less, much more restrained than I am. But it will be summer for me too because I love it. These are the teeniest, tiniest little, that's the size of my finger, right? So it takes you a little bit to get in there. But I'm going to swatch the more peach color and the purple. And let's see if I have room to put those. Can I find them here? Let's put them right here. So there's the peachy color, the purple color. Yeah, they're just such beautiful colors. And then let me see if I can grab a couple of these shimmers. So I'll do the darker one and then this more like taupey colored one. Oops, where are you? Where are you? Come back to me. I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. So there's the shimmers. It's just such a beautiful, warm summer, but almost, it's cool tone too. It's not really warm, but it feels warm. It feels like a summer night, right? A summer night after going to the beach and then you put on your sundress and then you put on these eyeshadows and then go hang out and have a couple of margaritas or whatever it is that you do. The cutest little palette. Look how cute that is. The teeniest, tiniest little thing. But again, pretty much all I need because I've got so much. So this is Viseart, of course. The formula here is quite nice. I don't think it's as crazy as people go crazy for Viseart and pay like $40, $50 for this little guy. I don't know that it's worth that, but it definitely was worth what I paid for it, which was in my Glam Bag Plus would have been like the equivalent of $5 because divided among 5 items, right? $25. Wait, no. Wasn't, yeah, it was 25, yeah. All right, Juvia's Place. I could have picked out any number of Juvia's Place palettes. They are so good. I grabbed these two just because they were the two I got that I thought were the best, but actually there's also the Tribe palette that I really want to get. And there's also one other one. Oh, what is it? Nomad. Is it the Nomad one? The one that's like really grungy. I'm going to use that word. Grungy yellows and stuff like that. That one's really summery into fall to me too. But there were a bunch more that I was considering and I just didn't do it. But these two, so this is the Saharan 2. And it has these beautiful teals here. And then it has a lot of warm tones. This is a little bit like, you know, back in the day when there was the warm tones. It was popular, but still it's really gorgeous. This light pink, shell pink is really pretty. And then this is like a really pretty peach color. And then that's another one that I could have put in here was that gray and peach palette that they have, which I adore, but yeah. And then this color here in the middle, I'm pointing with the other palette. This color here is, it looks like it's really deep kind of burgundy, but it's not. It actually swatches bright fuchsia. Let me see where I can put that down here. So it's a really bright pink. Let me do another run at it so you can see how that kind of, yeah, it's basically super bright pink. So it's much brighter than you think. And then this color in the corner that's called Taza is like a beautiful orange. Try not to run into each other like that. So those two colors are really great. And then the other matte, because there's only 3 mattes in here, the other matte is pretty much a brown, a neutral brown. So it really works very well because you've got a very orange leaning like terracotta, and then you've got a very pink leaning, and then you got a fairly neutral kind of cappuccino sort of brown here in the corner. So this is a fantastic palette for those who like a little bit of neutral, but then also are like, hey, I wouldn't mind a little teal on my lid. Because I think that all the rest of these shimmers are pretty easy to step into. But I think this is a great palette for somebody who's mostly neutral but wants something a little bit more fun for summer. If you are more of an adventurous person, you can try this. So this is the Warrior 3. And as you can see, it's mostly mattes. Well, maybe you can see that. It's mostly mattes except these 2 shimmers. So all the rest of these are mattes. It's not your typical rainbow palette. So I dig that. And I haven't really gotten into this one, but I'm going to just swatch somewhere where, I don't know. Do we have room on my arm? There's, whoops, can't see anything on that one. Oh, because I didn't put anything on that one. Priscilla, you're trying to swatch with fingers you don't even have a color on. Okay. There we go. So we've got the blue, the green, and the reddish, orangish sort of color. It's more of a bright red, orange leaning red. That's this one right here. And actually, I've got to swipe. I got to swipe that yellow because I know yellows are the one that's always hard. So if you're looking for a yellow, let's actually see. But I got to try my fingers. And this blue here is much more of a, you know, like a sea blue than the other ones in this palette were more of a teal blue. So they would definitely complement each other. And speaking of big pans, these are enormous pans. Like I could fit probably 3 of these pans for the Viseart into one of these pans, maybe even more. Okay, so let's try that yellow because I want to show you how it works. I'm going to go above right here, and there's the yellow. So you can see that is a nicely pigmented yellow. That's a matte. I'm going to put one more swipe on there so I can build up a little bit and do justice because I'm really reaching out of my way. You can see it's kind of washed out by the light there, but, well, I can't block it. Yeah, someone just going into color of all of them or of the Juvia's Place. So Kelly's asking, which one do I recommend for someone just going into color? Yeah, of all of them, well, and I have to think about which ones are available. I think that Juvia's Place are great for just getting into color. And I think that this one here, the Saharan 3, is really good if you're just starting, if you like the colors that are in here. So this is a peachy color, but it's really subtle peachy. And if that's your undertone, you know, it might look like a neutral, but if it's not your undertone, it can pull more pink or more orange. These 2 greens, this is a really beautiful, like minty green. And then this is, of course, more bright. Those are really great. And then this is like a shell pink. The others are pretty neutral on here, but you also have these. So if you use this as your crease color or as your kind of your neutral, and then you use either this one, which leans more pink, or this one, which leans more orange, that can help you kind of pull the color that direction without feeling like you're doing a pink eye or an orange eye. So that's an option. Otherwise, I would say any of these, oops, let's not drop the palettes, Priscilla. Any of these from LA Girl, if you're just getting into color, go this route because these are cheap. You get really big you get really good. I mean, these are big pans, but the LA Girl are almost as big. I don't know the depth of them. That's probably pretty similar. I like this one for just getting into color, but you can pick any color story that you want. Now you got me started. Let me grab a couple of my other ones from them. And by a couple, I mean like just the whole stack. May as well. Yeah, if you're just getting into color, these are all my other LA Girl palettes. And I'll show you really quickly what they are. So this is the Pro Artistry palette. I think this is still available also at Ulta. They do arrive a little broken sometimes. Like this one came a little bit broken. These, and that's why I have the plastic still on it. This shimmer is really soft, but it's really, really foiled. So that's why sometimes they come broken. But Ulta's been really good at replacing those without any issue. But this is great because it's got the pretty oranges, the 2 blues, and the 2 greens. And then here's a black and a silver. The rest of these are all neutral. So this is really good for getting into color. If the greens, the blues, and the oranges call to you, that's a really good option. This could be like a whole video on how to get into color. This one is the one that came with that. So with these 16 pan palettes, they release them in 2s. They've always released them in 2s that are kind of complementary. So here is the more lighter, kind of soft glam look. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for getting into color, but if you like a neutral soft glam, that's what that's going to look like. This one, Break Free. Let me put these together so you can see what they actually look like together. And I have the other ones of these 2. So those first 2 came together, and then the Break Free set are like this. This one is a purple pink, and it really depends on your undertone. So for me, I'm very pink undertone. So this is almost a neutral palette for me. So this would be good to get into color because it's not going to be really super bold. But I have the purple, the pinks, and then a lot of the other mauve-y sort of colors going into that. And then if you have more of a yellow undertone, then this would be more suitable for you. Again, very neutral, but you've got some of the orangey and yellow sort of colors. Then, where is this one? Let me grab it out of here. These ones I just used and I'm rating them, so that's why they weren't out with the other ones. So the Hey Hey Vacay, these ones are the most recent ones that came out, I believe. They are at Ulta right now. And I will show you the difference. These are really similar, but these are really good for getting into color, especially if you're going to do it in the summer or in this case, the fall. So this one in my left hand on your right, this is really good. I mean, look at those greens and those oranges. Oh, so gorgeous. So if you are more warm leaning, this is great. This is the more cool leaning. And this is great for summer, but I mean, of course I've got them both because I'm kind of crazy like that. And I love, these are all, I think $15.99. And again, use the coupon. And then one more I got to pull out. Okay, so this one, oops, oh, I'm just dropping things. If I broke my palette, I'm going to be sad. I don't think I broke it though. We'll see. Nope, not broken. Okay. Excuse my non-matching biker shorts and whatnot. I came back and changed into something cooler. Okay, so these ones, this one I already showed you. This is the one that's the Desert Dream. These 2 are a Desert Dream. This is the VIP. That one there. So definitely a little bit more. And then this is way colorful. So if you're a little more serious about getting into color, this is a good way to do it because it's inexpensive. These colors perform like a dream. Let me just pull a couple. So here's a matte blue and a shimmer green. Where do I have room? Let's put them right here on my wrist. So the green, oh, this green is amazing. There they are. So this green here and this blue, they're just fantastic. So yeah, I would say probably if you're just starting, these two, which are currently at Ulta, are really, really good. Because they have so many neutrals. Where'd my white go? I probably threw it on the floor. Nope, it's right here. They've got so many neutrals in them, but then they have those really gorgeous green and orangey or pink colors, depending on the palette. So these are the two I would recommend if you're just starting, but any of the LA Girl, fantastic. My opinion. Okay, so then back to, I think this is my final one. So I talked about those two Juvia's Place. This is another one that actually is not too bad if you want to get into color. And you said you don't have Ulta in Canada, but you know. But you know, I think you can order LA Girl probably internationally. So I know you can order on their site. So this is the Bronzed Rustic palette from Juvia's Place. So they have this one and they have a blush one, which I also have. But to me, the blush one is more of like winter and spring. But this one is so summery to me. This yellow and this, it's like a light or bright red. I have no more room on my body to put swatches. Let's put this one here, yellow one right here, and the red one right here. So those are really gorgeous. These are also not too bad if you're trying to get into color because they are pretty neutral, but still give you this little bit of burst of something special. And then these shimmers here, there's two shimmers here, are really nice. And then of course the two neutrals are very good, a very good range of neutrals. So Juvia's Place, I absolutely adore. I think they're fantastic. Now I gotta reorganize these and figure out where I got them all from. So they go back in the right place. Since we're moving, we're gonna have everything all confused anyhow, but oh well, such is life, right? But yeah, so what do you guys use for summer? What are your summer like go-to looks? Do you have like, I mean, I know some people are like just minimal with just liner and that's it. Like I don't want to put anything else on my face and I absolutely have to. Or is it more of, you know, are you all out color? I mean, I'm all out color all the time anyhow, except not today. But most days I'm all out color. So what's your thing? Do you prefer super colorful looks or do you prefer more subdued sort of thing? I don't know. But you can also check out my Instagram because so what I'll do is I'll take a palette and then I'll use it for 3 days and I'll do 3 very different looks. And then I put all my pictures on Instagram. So you can take a look there and see what I've already done. And then if there's anything that you're specifically wondering about, you can ask me about it. So those are the palettes that I recommend for summer. These were all bonuses. Well, not all bonuses, but there's a lot of bonuses here. But these two, even though they weren't on the list, because I actually just used I just used this one in my 3-day one palette thing. These are both fantastic for summer, but I didn't put them on my list because I just had too many palettes to use. So let's see if I can put these here without breaking anything. Which ones did I do? I did the break free. Yeah, no, yeah. No, I had the VIP. That was the one I had. So, and then, yeah. But I love the LA Girl palettes. I need to get, like I said, there's 4 more that I've discovered are out there somewhere that I do not have in my possession. And that makes me very sad. Makes me feel bad about myself. So I need to not feel bad about myself and get those eventually. I have a cart on LA Girl saved. And I also have one of the little 9-pan palettes, which are fantastic. I have one that's more neutral here. I have things falling down. And that's, you know, it's really, really great for neutral. But I don't do a ton of neutral, but I actually think that one is better than the Natasha Denona. Just spoiler right here. This LA Girl palette, in my opinion, is better than this Natasha Denona. And they're quite comparable, but you actually get quite a bit more in here. So you got 5 versus 9, and the price here is way less. And I think that these are really, really, really good. So, spoiler. I don't know what I was spoiling, but I'm spoiling. So BoxyCharm. Oh, Boxy. Why in the world do I fall for them? I don't know. I'm going to try to clean off my arms so that I'm not like smearing this pigment all over my shirt. I end up like washing my clothes and being like, why is there like a big green stripe on here? Oh yeah, that's right. I was doing swatches. At least get the most transferable portion. Okay. So yeah, I've got BoxyCharm and I was so annoyed with them because I'm like, you know, they're not sending me what I want. And it's like they don't even pay attention. And I'm convinced that they don't pay attention to what you actually put into your preferences. And I will explain that. But then they announced they were doing an ABH takeover. And I'm really wanting that new ABH Norvina 5 palette, that purple one, because I'm like obsessed with purple, anything that's purple. And I really, really, really want that palette. Yeah, I know, right? And so they go in there and they do the takeover box. And then what do I do? Instead of canceling, I actually upgrade to the premium. So for next month, I will be getting the ABH takeover box. So I chose the 3, Norvina 3, because that one's the most different from the 5, which I eventually want to get. And I thought that the 1 was too similar, but not as exciting as the 5, if that makes sense. So that 3, I think, is really interesting because it's got the oranges and greens and things like that. And then I got the pressed powder. Those are the 2 things that I selected. So we'll see. I think that box is going to be pretty good. And then it's probably going to just keep me paying for mediocre boxes for a while. And then I'm going to be irritated. And then just about the time I decide to cancel, then they'll be saying, oh, here's another takeover box by somebody that I really, really love. And that's exactly the point. Kelly, that's exactly the point. The add-ons, that's where they get me. Because the add-ons is like super, I can get what on the add-ons? Yeah, you can go into the right, exactly. I can go into the add-ons and actually get it, but that would have been like the cost of the palette would have been like almost the cost of the premium box anyhow. So I'm like, well, I may as well do the premium box and then try the other things that they're going to send me, which is how they get you, right? The palettes, yeah, that's the thing is I could get the #1 palette on the add-ons, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I have gotten a bunch of really good stuff from the add-ons though, and that's one of the reasons that I've kept them, because I'm like, even if I've got to get a box full of crap, basically, for $25 a month, and then I'm getting super discounted other things, like 70%, 90%, sometimes discounted, like, well, it actually is better because it's like paying a membership. I don't know. Anyway, I went back and checked my quizzes and everything too. And I have on there, I don't want skincare. I much prefer to have mostly makeup and not skincare. All this other stuff, right? And so I keep telling them that. Do they listen? They do not listen. So this was my choice because there wasn't really anything else that I was interested in. This was for June, of course, the regular Boxy, the base box. So this is the Maven Beauty Cosmic Drip. How the heck do I open this? There we go. Palette. And because it's eyeshadows and that's what I like. I just don't do much with the rest of my face. I don't do skincare because I DIY my skincare. And I mean, you know, at my age, I think I do pretty well. Kirby is with us. Hi, Kirby. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while. You still need to take pictures of me. And Fluffy Smiles is here too. Hi, Fluffy Smiles. All right, so this is the palette. It's cute. It's cute. I like this blue. It's kind of a blue, almost like a periwinkle shift on it, which is fun. The others are kind of boring because they're all kind of the same. They're all versions of the same thing. Let me see if I can find a place to swatch these. Then I can actually turn my hand in a direction without breaking my elbow. Does that work? Yeah. So you can kind of see. So this is the blue. It's really pretty. And then you got these 3 neutrals, which are kind of boring, but you know, they are what they are. I don't know. I do really like this blue. It is very much like a periwinkle shift on it. So I'm digging that. I'm going to like that. They swatch nicely. They apply nicely. They're okay. It's not bad, right? And it's the packaging is really cute. I like that where it's clear and all that. And it's all, you know, it's got the little magnetized. Is that magnetized? Yeah, it's magnetized. So yeah, it's cool packaging. I'm okay with that. So that didn't totally suck. Congratulations, BoxyCharm. One thing didn't totally suck. I'll show you the one other makeup item. Now, I knew I was going to get this because when I looked at everybody who had picked this palette, they got exactly the same variation in their box. And that made me go, wait a minute, Boxy, you are not using our preferences or anything else. You just decided everybody who got this got the same other stuff, which really kind of sucks. Because, you know, if people order this, they probably like makeup. Because most people that are more into skincare are probably not going to just want this. They would be like more of a neutral palette. I mean, it's neutral, but there's that blue, purple, whatever. I don't know. Vava Pink Lash Primer. I actually have this on my lashes right now. Let me take my glasses off so you can see. You see? You see? I have it with my number 7 mascara. Let me see which one this is. I have to put it right next to my eyes. Lash Extender Infinite Lash Length Volume number 7. So I put that on. It does add length. And it actually kind of gives me the same effect as the Sky High mascara when I put them both on. Doesn't give any curl or anything like that, but, you know, it's okay. It's pink, which is weird. That must just be a formula thing. And they're like, oh, it came out pink. Oh, let's market it as pink. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I'll have to look and see if there's actual dye in there where they made it that color. Or maybe it came out a really ugly color and they decided to put pink in there. I don't know. Got a box for November for your birthday. Yeah, it doesn't seem to match up at all. Like they just send whatever they want to send and it doesn't make sense. Anyway, lash primer. I don't have any lash primer, so I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'll take some lash primer. It's supposed to have some good stuff in here. Does it have good stuff? Or maybe that's not this one. Maybe that's a different one that I was looking at. Oh yeah, I don't actually see anything that's beneficial in here. So maybe it doesn't. It's just lash primer. I do actually like the idea of having this because I have some colored mascaras and putting it over a light primer makes sense. But it does take more work to build up the mascara because you have to cover the pink then, which is kind of annoying, but it's okay. It goes in here. Actually, I'm going to put this in my daily basket so that I can be using it since I don't have another lash primer. It's a nice thing to have. All right, the rest of it is all skincare. So I got this Glam Glow Super Cleanse. I'm dropping stuff on the floor again. I have like this much space and this much stuff, which is the story of my life. Glam Glow Super Cleanser. I haven't even opened this. I just looked at it with disgust and set it to the side. I don't use cleansers because cleansers are not good for you. Cleansing your skin, it's funny because all these like videos on Instagram are like where they put the stuff on and it pulls everything out of the pores, which is great in theory, but then what are you going to replace that with? Because your pores need to like be pushing stuff out. And if you clean them out too much, what happens is they close up and then stuff wants to push out and it gets clogged because it's closed up. So you need to replace that with oil. If you don't replace it with oil that's similar to your natural sebum, then you're going to end up with more blockages. So you're going to actually have the problem even more if you clean your skin too much. So I don't use cleansers, and especially things like this has charcoal in. Charcoal takes everything out, including the nutrition out of your skin because it's not smart. It doesn't know the difference between toxins and good stuff. And so I was thinking of giving this to my husband because he does use cleansers. He has not yet been converted to my way of life, even though I keep convincing him and showing him my skin, your skin. But I mean, you know, I'm 3 years older than him and I have better skin than he does. But he's stubborn. I don't know. Otherwise, I might just add this in a giveaway. But then I feel like I'm a hypocrite. Like, how can I give this to you guys in a giveaway if I don't agree in cleansers? But I know people use it anyhow. So I don't know. What do you think? Should I put it in a giveaway? Do you guys want this? Maybe I should give that, like, put it in as an option and be like, if you don't want anything in this giveaway, just don't, like, I won't send it to you and then not pay for the shipping. I don't know. I will use this also begrudgingly just because I will use skincare if they send it, like moisturizers and whatnot, creams and stuff like that, because then I just don't have to DIY it. But the cleansers and creams and stuff like that aren't anywhere better. So I don't know. This is Flower Dose Plumping Lip and Eye Serum. It's just so funny that it's lip and eye because there's such different needs from your lips to your eyes. I mean, they both need moisture, but the skin is very different from your lips to your eyes. So I don't think that was very scientifically based to combine the two, but you know, whatever. So this is this weird syringe sort of thing. I guess it's supposed to look cool. It's got flowers on it. That's cutesy. Yeah, so what I use for cleansing, Kelly, is I actually just use oil. I use oils that are close to my sebum, which are like, so grapeseed is good, argan oil is excellent, Abyssinian oil is one of the best, but that's a little more expensive. There's a bunch of really good oils, and then I just put that on, and then I run hot water, or you can also, you know, like boil water and then get your towel really hot, and then I'll put it over my face, not, you know, like not where it's going to burn, but I just put it over my face to steam, and then I do that a couple of times, and then I just wipe everything off, and that's it. And then I add more water, more oil, because I don't want to remove all the oils. You want to keep the oils on because that's what keeps your skin healthy and keeps it from breaking out and all those other things. I used to have really bad acne and whatnot from hormonal stuff, and now I don't. There's a little tip for you. Yeah, I do use some cleansers that are completely natural. For example, I will use honey. Honey is a really good cleanser. Also lactic acid. So a really good cleanser is, and I don't have this right now, I need to get some, dried goat milk. So if you get goat milk powder, that's like organic goat milk powder, it's not too expensive. Just take a little tiny bit of it, mix it with water. And you can, you know, you need to mix it every day because otherwise it'll go bad. But just take a little bit of goat milk powder with water, or with whatever else you're going to do. You can put it with honey, or you can put it with anything else that you want to use. And then put that all over your face. And the lactic acid is really good because it's a gentle exfoliant, but also it is a natural cleanser. And then you can also, like, I use coffee and tea, or basically anything you drink in the morning. Not vodka, but orange juice. No, I wouldn't really do orange juice because that's going to be a little bit stronger. I mean, you could, but the sugars and stuff like that are not necessarily great. Sugar is actually a good cleanser too, and also a gentle exfoliant. But you can use, I use coffee, and I just put it on one of these little rounds, I happen to have sitting there. I have everything here. And I just put a little bit of coffee on it and put that all over my face and let it sit there for whatever amount of time I have until I take a shower. Or I'll also use tea. If I drink tea, I'll save the tea bag, and then I'll either put it in the refrigerator so it's cool, or I'll just let them dry out and then rehydrate them under the tap. Use that to go all over my face. And the caffeine is really good for your skin. It's really good to take down puffiness and whatnot, and just for your skin in general. And then it also is a gentle cleanser. And just the texture of rubbing that, you know, gently on your skin will clean it. So I'll do that, but I don't necessarily do it every day. So, and I'm not worried about cleaning out my pores, because your pores are constantly pushing out the toxins. I've talked about this before. So don't clean out your pores and then just leave them. And especially one of the worst things that people do is to clean your face and then dry your face, because you need to have moisture, and water is the best moisture you can have. So instead, let your skin still be damp. Like, I don't even use a towel on my face. I just let it, you know, drip or whatever, you know, shake it off, whatever, like a dog. And then I just take oil or moisturizer or whatever. Usually I do my natural oils that I've concocted. And I put them all over my face, right on top of the damp skin. So that actually keeps it from getting too greasy. If you ever notice, if you put oil in dry hair, it'll get greasy. But if you put oil in damp hair, it doesn't get greasy. It gets nice and light. And it's the same thing as leave-in conditioners, anything like that. So it's the same thing with your face. If you put oil on a dry face, I have oily skin. I don't want it to be more oily. So I put the oils on a damp face because they seep in better. So it's more easily absorbed, and then the oils actually hold the moisture into the face. If that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I do. So I don't use any commercial cleansers, except I shave my face every day because I have PCOS, so I have a beard. So I have lots of facial hair all the way down here, and I use Castile soap, and I use that as my shaving lubricant down here. And it's interesting because that's like the only place that I'll get breakouts when I do. But I just make sure that I put oil on right after, and then it's okay. So if you do want to use cleansers on your face, just put oil on directly after and don't dry it first, because if you dry it, your pores can already close up. And if you don't have that oil in there, then it's going to have a hard time pushing the toxins out, which is what your pores are there for. And then they're going to get blockage. So you want to make sure that there's oil in the opening of your pores so that they can easily push out the toxins. It sounds gross, but that's what your pores are there for. So you can't get away from it. Your pores are always going to be pushing toxins out. And then the other thing is drink lots of water, stay away from things that are, like overly fatty or overly toxic stuff. So anyway, back to this guy. So this is this fun little syringe thing. And basically you take off the cap, you turn this to the left, and then you kind of push out the stuff. And it looks like quite a bit of product, but it's just these unnecessarily like fancy foo-foo applicators are kind of annoying. I already have an eye serum that I'm using, so I'll just keep this until that one runs out, and then I'll use it. It is what it is. And then the last thing that I got is actually two, and that's these face masks. Face masks are like sheet masks, I should say. Sheet masks are so stupid. They're such a gimmick, and people fall for them because they make us feel like we're being pampered, and we are. But you can do exactly the same thing as I do, like just by taking a damp towel and putting it on your face and letting, like the hot towel and putting it on your face after you put your oils and stuff, and just letting it sit there until it gets cool. Take it off, do it again. That might be more work than we want to do. And people just like this because this is very Instagram chic. And so putting a sheet mask on is very cool because then I can put it on Insta, right? But they don't actually help you. Because all this is a very, very diluted serum, which is the same thing that you use in a regular serum, or the same thing you've got in moisturizers or anything else. Or in my case, I DIY it, and I can do this way cheaper. So so this has water and glycerin. I'm basically sodium hyaluronate. Okay, that's okay. Squalane, but now we're getting quite a ways down there. And then it has things like artichoke leaf extract and Camellia japonica flower extract, and a lot of these little flower extracts in here, but they're so far down that they're not actually help. Like there's so little of it, the amount of help that it actually gives your skin is pretty ridiculous. So you're better off taking a washcloth, cutting the eye holes in it. If you really want to do that, put a strap on it. I mean, I actually did that. I used an old t-shirt when I was in Haiti. I took an old t-shirt and cut it into the shape of my face and had like 2 strings that I could tie it around my face. And then I just did my own. I would use aloe vera, and then I would use any sort of natural stuff. And I could get so much stuff down there. I could just take basically flowers off the plants and then, steep them and get my own stuff. Or you can use green tea. You can use all sorts of stuff just put it on your face that way. It's not as pretty. It's not as it's Instagrammable, but it works. And that's the whole point, is it's actually better for you than this nonsense. Will I use these? They're not going to do any good. That's the thing, is I'm such a realist. I ruin everybody. I smash everybody's what's the illusion. I smash everybody's illusion by being like, it's not going to work for you guys. I mean, you can use it. Doesn't actually do. Yes, it helps, because what you're doing is you're literally keeping the moisture on your face. But you can do the same thing by just not stripping your face of moisture in the first place, which is what I do. So, I mean, and my skin looks pretty good. I can give credit to the Wet n Wild skin tint a little bit. I mean, it looks really good with the skin tint. Looks better than usual even. And my skin normally looks pretty good. But so this is 45-year-old skin with only a skin tint on it. So I did no concealer, well, skin tint and like a light powder, a light e.l.f. mattifying powder. That's it. And then of course, like, you know, some complexion products and stuff. I don't normally have this little rosiness over here, but yeah, that's all I got on my skin. And you know, I'm 45 and I look okay for 45. So yeah, that's why when people want to argue with me about skincare, and I'm like, well, look at my pictures, then argue with me. And I usually don't get them to come back because I don't look like a typical 45-year-old. And that's all I do. I have used oils for a long time. When I started realizing, as soon as they started making it so that they had to put the ingredients list, make them available, then I started looking at the ingredients. And then when Amazon came along, and you know, at first I think I went to the grocery store and I got grapeseed oil. I think that was the first one, or it might have been, what's the another sort of light oil. And I just did the research and found out which oils are good for your skin, and I just started to put that on my skin, and then eventually just faded out all other things. I faded out I used to love to do the masks, and I just don't like to do them as much because they dry out your skin. They actually pull out the oils that you need along with the toxins. So instead of pulling out all the toxins and worrying about pulling all that stuff out, just let your skin be natural and keep it as healthy as possible. Okay, so skincare for sensitive skin with rosacea. You're going to probably have to do a little bit of research and find out what works best, but I would stay away from anything chemical personally. You don't have to take my advice, and try to go all natural as much as possible. Just use things very, you know, like try them on the inside of your wrist first, and then, you know, maybe try them back here to see if you're going to get a breakout from them. But I would start with something like argan oil. If you're able to use that, hemp seed oil might be good. Grapeseed oil. All of those are pretty gentle and they're really close to your natural skin anyhow. Natural sebum anyhow. And then, like I said, the milk is really good. If you want to use a really gentle cleanser, I would say go get yourself some flakes of goat milk, dried goat milk, and put that in with water and just, you know, use a little bit and see how that works. You know, try it on your neck first and then use a little bit. And if that works, use a little bit more. And you can even, like I said, just soak it, soak a washcloth and just put it right on your face and let it sit there for a few minutes. You know, I just put my head back, warm water, or you can, you know, you can heat it up in a teapot or something like that, or microwave or whatever you want to do. And then just put warm water. Don't make it hot, but warm. And then you can also get a face steamer. Those are good too. As far as essential oils, because I do use a lot of essential oils, you're going to have to be more careful about some of the ones that you use. But I know things like lavender can be really good. Chamomile can be really good. I'm trying to think of some of the more gentle ones. Lavender, chamomile. Rose water can be really good. And you can get rose tea, or also hibiscus. Hibiscus can be really good for skin conditions too. So you can get hibiscus tea, and it's just dried leaves of hibiscus flowers. And that's what you would drink, but just make a skin, basically just brew it so it's really strong. And then use one of these little cotton rounds or something like that, or you know, reusable one or whatever. I just happen to have these. And then just dab it on your face, and that will help you to, you know, you can use it to kind of cleanse, a real light cleansing. And I will also say you might want to try honey, because honey is a really gentle cleanser, but it's a really good cleanser, and it's got tons of humectants in it. So humectants aren't plural. It is a humectant. And so it is, or I guess it is plural, but you can't measure the amount of humectants in honey. Anyway, so yeah, it's use honey, raw, unfiltered honey, and try that on your skin. You could also try sugar. Sugars are good. Or sea salt, but be careful about sea salt because that can dry you out. What are some of the other things that I have using on my skin? You might also want to try neem oil for the rosacea. And neem oil is kind of a fix-all for many, many things. It smells a little funny, but some people say it smells like garlic. I think it smells like peanuts. I don't know how garlic and peanuts smell the same, but to me it smells more like peanuts or some sort of nut, or even like acorns, kind of smells like that. But yeah, so you can try something like that, might help. So that's what I would suggest, because just stay away from cleansers and stay away from anything chemical. When it seems like if they give you a prescription for something, and that's the problem. If you go to a pharmacy, if you go to a dermatologist, that's what they're called. They're usually going to give you a prescription for something, and that prescription is going to do something else. So, it might help you with one thing, but then it'll dry out your skin, or, it will help you with one thing, but it'll make you more sensitive, and, or, all these other kinds of things. So I just stay away from any sort of medicine if at all possible, and just try to use, basically the rule that I have is if it's good for you to eat, it's usually good for you to put on your skin. And my skin is not overly sensitive, so I can get by with more stuff like citrus and things like that you might not be able to get by with, but at least try it. So, and then let me know, because I'm really curious. Start slowly, because you don't want to blow up your skin or anything like that either, but start slowly and try something for a week or two and see if it seems to help and not hurt, and then you can add other things to it. So, but definitely oil. Your skin needs oil, and stop using cleansers, because cleansers strip the necessary oil out of your skin. And I make sure my skin always has oil. After I'm done washing my face, it still usually has a little bit of oil on it, and then I add more oil to it. Yeah, people think that's weird, but it works for me. So that's it. We went all over the place, but we looked at some fun palettes. We looked at my not so fun BoxyCharm, but hey, whatever. It was okay. Is it worth the $25? Nah. This palette, maybe I'd pay $10. Maybe. The eye primer, maybe $5. That's $15. The rest of it, I will use the eye serum, and that's it. But I could DIY that too. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Hopefully this worked to have it a little bit earlier. I like having the natural light, and I think in the new place, I think we're south-facing. Is that correct? So then maybe we'll have more light. So we'll see how this goes with my husband working earlier. It kind of gives me the quiet time to do this. So, and puppy's over there sleeping on the couch, so I might have to take her out for a walk. That's why I wanted to do it earlier, so I can get out for a walk. So, all right, thank you so much for joining, and definitely leave your comments below, and let me know what you'd be interested in talking about next. And I will see you in the next one, Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.